Welcome to Friday Live with Gladiator. I'm Fabra and I serve Gladiator Consulting as the curator of culture and capacity. I wear many hats in the community, and one of my additional roles is that I am a catalyst with Forward Through Ferguson. And today I have one of my friends and colleagues from Forward Through Ferguson here with me on the live, Sara. So let's welcome Sara. Sara, how are you coming into the space today, this Friday? And can you just introduce yourself a little bit more to our listeners?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sara Paracha, lead resource development catalyst with Forward Through Ferguson. Excited that it's Friday and counting down the days to the Racial Equity Summit.
Yes, we will talk about the Racial Equity Summit a little bit more in just a moment. But I think before we get to the summit, like just tell us a little bit more about how you got into the work at FTF and tell us a little bit more about why you do it and what has the work been like, in the current climate and, just I think it would be really powerful to just kind of hear your voice right now. So, three questions. How did you get into the work at Forward Through Ferguson? Tell us a little bit more about what you do and what the organization does. And then, how has the work been lately?
Yeah, so I'm a St. Louis native, so everything St. Louis is very near and dear to my heart. My background's in public health and social work, and I started off actually in the nonprofit field on the programming side,
Mhm.
but very quickly was helping with grants, helping with events to fund programs, and really saw how important resources, both time, treasure, relationships, and how much that impacts nonprofits and what they're able to do, and filled in a gap in a development role, and then fell into it accidentally, like most people who do fundraising. So I was in the youth development space for several years, and then was looking for something that has more region-wide impact. And the opportunity at FTF popped up, and have been really fortunate to be able to work here with the team for the last 2.5 years or so.
Yeah.
Time is flying.
Yes, it is.
Um, so a little bit of what I do with Forward Through Ferguson is mostly on the fundraising side. So that's everything from grants and grant reporting, donor management, database management, and events. And what FTF does is we are a systems change and intermediary organization focused on advancing racial equity in our region. So in our mission is that race and zip code don't determine your life outcomes.
Right.
We are now is it 2 years now since we've done our strategic plan, our latest strategic plan. So we've been able to really identify how we do our work in the community. That's through storytelling, coalition support, so working with other partner organizations, using our regional data and research to recommend policies within our region, and then doing some educational learnings and opportunities through roundtables, one-day learning opportunities, and anywhere from 6-month assessments with organizations.
Mhm.
And the last question you had is what's it been like this year?
Well, one more
Um,
thing too that I think is powerful to share is that over the last 5 years, FTF has also become involved in funding through in
yeah.
influencing philanthropy through the Racial Healing and Justice Fund. So I think that's another powerful tidbit about FTF as well. So
Yeah, and that was one of the calls to action in the Ferguson Commission report as well, having a 25-year endowed fund for racial equity. So we wrapped up the pilot last year, and we'll be able to share more coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we're excited about what the next phase looks like. And it really shows how our role engaging with grassroots organizations and how we can best support and engage community through that and through other ways.
yeah, so um, Rachel and I, so Gladiator Rachel, we were like some of the first staff people
Mm-hmm.
at FTF, and so it's really special to see Forward Through Ferguson have new leadership and people who have a lot of experience and a lot of passion, taking the organization to the next level. And so, just kudos to you and Anissa for all the work that you've done in such a short amount of time to really carry the legacy of the organization and build new relationships and maintain previous relationships. And I know FTF sits in a difficult place in the landscape, as an intermediary that does do some programming, right? So do the capacity building programmings, there are trainings, there are workshops,
Mm-hmm.
there's education opportunities and stuff like that. But being more so an organization that supports the work of others, it can be really difficult to fund and to make sense of sometimes, depending on where your organization may sit in the landscape. So I just, yeah, I really appreciate highly skilled and really helpful people continuing to make sure the organization thrives and that it does helpful work and that also that it's resourced, because
Mm-hmm.
it really does have to be resourced not only by traditional philanthropy but through our community as well. And
Yeah.
I think the Racial Equity Summit is one of the powerful ways that we're able to be accountable to the community, provide education and support to the community, and also offer them like an opportunity to help sustain the work, which is difficult to do in this climate. So
Definitely. We hear a lot from people. A lot of the FTF supporters are grassroots supporters, and a lot of people are looking for opportunities to just learn more and build community. So, Racial Equity Summit is a great way to do that.
yeah, it's really important for people who believe in justice and to believe that change is possible to find each other right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of fatigue. There's a lot of like fatigue, burnout, disillusionment, and real realities of people actually losing their jobs and losing their families' resources because of some of the decisions that have been made, not only by the government, but also by the business community and nonprofits that are then affected by those decisions through philanthropy. It's not just an idea of disappointment that people are experiencing. They're experiencing tangible hardship right
Mm-hmm.
now during this era. And so I think it's super important for groups like FTF who are intermediaries to provide spaces for people to come together to be nourished intellectually and also to have community. So we are so excited about this Racial Equity Summit. Just huge thank you to UMSL, the University of Missouri St. Louis, and the Two Hill staff, and just all of the people that we worked with to secure adequate space for
Mm-hmm.
this event, number one, and then also the community leadership committee who helped us to really like refine the theme and make sure that we were thoughtful and responsible about our programming and relevant in our programming. So shout out just everybody who helped put their hands on this very necessary event. And then I'm also really excited about hearing some of the speakers, particularly those that are addressing the topic of healing justice. So one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that I work on um, at FTF as a catalyst is the Racial Healing and Justice Fund. And healing justice has really risen to importance and urgency. So it was always important to our organization because we see it as a part of our theory of change, that it's
Yeah.
important for organizations to feel empowered, but also important for people to feel empowered and confident and healed, and that sort of trauma informed care and trauma informed advocacy is a part of systems change. So like we
Mm-hmm.
already internally knew that as an organization, but it's really awesome to be able to host an event where people such as Prentice Hemphill and some of the other speakers who are teachers and leaders on healing justice are also able to provide this message for the community, that when we say systems change, we don't just mean, you know, elected officials signing new policies,
Mm-hmm.
right? We know that that is important. It is critically important, and we see sort of the impacts of that right now. And we also notice the importance of people, the individual, the family, the church, the institution,
Mm-hmm.
groups of people feeling collectively empowered to use their areas of influence for the common good, and more importantly, for justice and for racial
Absolutely.
justice. FTF is not, we wouldn't consider ourselves a DEI organization, right?
Right.
But we are directly impacted by the hardships and the backlash that
Mm-hmm.
DEI organizations are experiencing right now because racial equity, healing justice, and system change are seen as adjacent ideas uh,
Yeah.
to DEI. And so, yeah, it's really It's really fascinating.
Yeah, it's an unpredictable time, and everything that you mentioned is the reason why we were like, we need to make sure that the summit happens this year, and it's the fourth biennial summit. But we have been impacted more so in a domino effect. So we were very intentional about, we're not going to change the name of the summit. We're not going to change the name of things on FTF's website, vocabulary we use, any messaging. We're standing down, we're staying the same. But a lot of our partner organizations don't have the flexibility or luxury to do that because of where their funding is coming from. And that's why I think the healing piece of this summit is going to be very important. Messages I've been getting from attendees is like, I really need this. I can't wait for this. Like, this is something that we need right now, both through their organization, but just also as individuals. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope that it can be a space of joy and energy giving for all the attendees.
Definitely. It's something that's, critically needed in the region, and also just for folks that not only work here but also live here, because we couldn't
Mm-hmm.
have expected that with this huge political sort of unpredictable and really scary climate right now, that also climate change would like show up right at our front doors. So
Yeah.
there are still thousands of residents from the city and from sort of the North County and Mid County areas that
Mm-hmm.
were severely impacted by the tornado in May. And so
Yeah.
I've been hearing from some of those folks as well, those that are able to attend, and those that aren't able to attend, that they appreciate that it does exist, and that there is some attention to asking for stronger support of the community, and us making time to talk about what does it mean for those of us who always cared about these issues to continue to be unflinching and continue
Mm-hmm.
to be standing tall on these issues, and also using the safety in numbers, and the safety in collective strategy, and also the safety of our ability to heal together, to continue to push this work forward, because it's going to be a long effort to recover from the challenges that the city, the people of the city have experienced this year, and then just the last several years. I mean, COVID, this
Mm-hmm.
presidential administration, this sort of cultural phenomenon of regression, and
Yep.
ways in which that has spiraled into how organizational efforts are funded and supported through the funding community and through the business community. Is it's really challenging. Some big decisions are going to be made by
Mm-hmm.
us, and some difficult decisions have to be made by us, and it's just my hope that we make those decisions from a place of empowerment, and from a
Mm-hmm.
place of creativity, and a place of love, and
Absolutely.
and of what is possible, instead of succumbing to fear and panic and
Mm-hmm.
scarcity and infighting, and all the sorts of human psychology things that happen when people and groups are kind of pushed into a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I just hope that those of us are using our tools, and using all of our tools, particularly the healing justice and trauma informed tools, to really apply them to ourselves
Mm-hmm.
at this time, because our people need us. Like, our people need us, and we also deserve to be well.
Can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Somebody was saying, and I can't remember if we were talking about this on the last live, but somebody mentioned to me that there was a speaker who put forth that idea that maybe perhaps we shouldn't be pouring from our cups anyway, that perhaps that what others in our communities receive is the due, like
Abundance. Yeah.
condensation, the condensation and the overflow
Oh,
um,
I like
our
that.
cups. And I was like, okay, yeah,
Yes.
I really love that idea. Like,
Your
maybe,
cup is always full.
yeah, maybe perhaps our cup is always full, and more than full,
Mm-hmm.
so that people can, experience it as like a flow, like an overflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really powerful. So I
Mm-hmm.
know I have personally been taking that to heart, and I think being more diligent in my self care, just
Mm-hmm.
the last several months. And, I'm curious too, like, what does self care really mean for you at this time? And is there anything that you've particularly been doing to care for yourself as you're also like really holding
Mm-hmm.
an organization's wellness right now?
Yeah, I have really been getting into things that don't involve screen time. So getting back into art.
Okay.
I was just telling Anissa the other day I got a new punch needle kit, so I haven't started yet, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna start that, and getting back into baking and cooking. So just
Ooh,
getting into that.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you like to bake?
So I'm getting like now getting into gluten-free baking. So I just made gluten-free muffins that turned out actually really good. You can't tell that they're gluten-free.
Okay.
I made an upside down peach cake the other day. That was also really good. So yeah, getting into seasonal fruits and baking with them.
Yes. See, speaking of seasonal fruits, and this is not an advertisement unless y'all want to see, but my family, we love going to the Eckerts farm,
Mm-hmm.
the Belleville one, and my son went strawberry picking
Mm-hmm.
recently, like right before the last strawberries were available, and those strawberries were so good. I'm like,
Oh.
wow, this is what fresh fruits taste like. Like, do I need to live
Oh.
by a farm or like
Did
have
you make anything with them?
um no, we just
Just had them. They were so good on its own.
we just
Yeah.
put them in a bowl and just ate them. It was so good. I think we had them with some like, well, my partner and I had them with like some dark chocolate sea salt or
Mm.
something,
Yum. Yeah.
some rosé or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The child, he just was like popping them. Even my parents and my family really enjoyed them too. So
Nice.
highly recommend if you have access to one of these community farms. There's several of them. So
Yeah, get some
that
strawberries.
are open that you can come and pick them yourselves, or that
Mhm.
are selling them. Get that fresh fruit because it is definitely nourishing. Like, it tastes good and also gives you energy. But
Mhm.
that's one of my unsolicited auntie takes for this week is have you some fruit in the
Mhm.
summertime. It keeps you hydrated. Um, no, but thank you. But back to the Racial Equity Summit. Can you tell us just a little bit more about the theme for the summit, and just how did FTF really conceptualize like what the summit does and what does it seek to accomplish, and then just invite us into a little bit more about what people can expect.
Yeah, so it's I mentioned it's the fourth summit, so it happens every other year,
Mhm.
but it's the first time the FTF is taking on the responsibility of putting it together. So
Yay.
it's been a journey, but I'm so excited. The team has really paid attention to every single detail, and everything is so intentional, and I'm really excited to see it all come together. The
Yeah.
theme is unflinching, a call to action, which unflinching stems from the Ferguson Commission report. So does call to action, but also we felt that both of those were so relevant this year with everything going on.
Yes.
Um, we have taken feedback that attendees have had from all previous summits. So we have that. If people have had feedback from previous years, we've taken that, put it into action for this summit,
Hmm.
and we've also been really intentional about what you're going to get out of it. So we have the Path to Racial Equity tool that Forward Through Ferguson developed several years ago, and every session that you attend will be tagged with whether it's a session on awareness, understanding, or transforming towards racial equity.
Hmm.
Really, that shows that you doesn't matter where you are, if you're just learning or if you're advanced in your career and know a lot about racial equity, like there's going to be something for you.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful that we're able to tag the sessions that way.
Yeah.
It also aligns with the priorities of the Ferguson Commission report. So, along with every session being associated with the path to racial equity, it'll also be related to either youth at the center, opportunity to thrive, or justice for all.
Yep.
So
Right.
it's a broad reach. Like there's over 30 different workshops and panels. Like even looking at it, I'm a little overwhelmed because everything looks so good. I don't know what I want to go to, but it is exciting that we are having it hybrid. So
Hmm.
people have access to the virtual videos for up to 3 months. So that's you don't have to, think that you're going to miss out on anything, that you will have access to watch the videos post summit for the sessions that are streamed. So we have that. We're going to have wellness spaces. Prentice Hemphill is our keynote, which we're really excited about. And you mentioned healing. So they actually just came out with their book, What It Takes to Heal. So there's going to be elements of that throughout the summit, both from the keynote. Oh, you got your book.
It's
There
so
will be,
good, y'all. Listen, it's so good. It's so good. But go
there
ahead.
will be a book signing, and so
Yes.
you can bring your book, or you can pre-order it or buy it on site. I haven't read it yet. I plan to read it post summit, but I've heard really good things about it.
It's amazing. It is a truly amazing book. And thank you so much for pulling up the A Path to Racial Equity. And shout out to Forward Through Ferguson's founders, like the founding staff, David Dwight and Dr. Krishma Furtado and Nicole Hudson and so many others. Like uh, those tools that were developed when the organization was started are still in use today. And so I just want to just say that I remember that history, and it is so heavily benefited not only the work of FTF but also so many other organizations in the region. I get reach outs from MSW students and education students and masters of public health students all the time saying like, oh, we utilized Forward Through Ferguson's data reports and their path to racial equity tools for my master's program or my PhD. I even got a reach out from a high school student that was saying that they were reading it at their school. And so just thank you so much to, my colleagues at Forward Through Ferguson and the founders of the organization, as well as the Ferguson Commission, for really challenging this region to make sure that this legacy stays alive. It is very, very, not only does philanthropy have a short memory sometimes, but I also feel that a region like ours, where it seems like there's constantly something happening, it's hard sometimes to stay focused on history.
Yeah.
So I just, applaud Forward Through Ferguson that came out of the Ferguson Commission, still using their call and charge as a North Star, but also updating their work to keeping it relevant to right now and being the type of organization that really supports the work moving forward and is not reinventing the work of others, but radically working with others to amplify them to make sure that the work happens. So shout out to you all, and also shout out to Chosen for Change, who's also having their Black Ball event at UMSL, one of the nights of the Racial Equity Summit, and just for the coordination that your organizations did together, because we know August 9th was the moment that really brought our organization's work into the future. It FTF would not exist if we had not experienced that tragedy and the Brown family had not lost their son. And so just shout out to the Brown family and your works and your legacy. And just, I really appreciate you all for the coordination and really keeping the history alive and challenging our region to remember the lives of our young people, and to continue to hold our systems accountable to value young Black human life. And yeah, so I'm so excited about this event. I'm so proud of the organization. Like, it has gone through so many things. I just, really excited for you all. I think this is going to be a really great event. So can you just share, for those that don't know, what are the dates? What's the last day that people can get tickets, virtual tickets, in-person tickets, just any like logistical things that you want to share with the audience so that they can join us?
Yeah, so Summit is on Friday, August 8th and Saturday, August 9th. Friday programming will be from 9 to 5, and then we do have the Racial Healing and Justice Fund Grantee Expo that evening from 5 to 7, so you have a chance to meet the grantees and learn more about their work. And then we'll be right there Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then the Black Ball follows that evening at 6 p.m., I believe. So it'll be a weekend long, all happening at UMSL between the Two Hill and the Student Center. So ticket sales are supposed to close today, but we are going to leave it open over the weekend, and Monday will be the last day for in-person ticket sales, pending if we have tickets available, because they are selling really fast. So we might have to close it early if it is sold out. And then virtual, you can buy your tickets until August 7th, which is one day before. Both in-person and virtual attendees, you will have access to the virtual videos for 3 months after. And we are approved by the National Association for Social Workers for 7 continuing education credits. So if you're looking for some continuing ed credits, you can get up to 7 by attending the summit, either in person or virtually. And you can learn more at the website, racialequitystl.org. You can register. There'll be contact information on the website if you have any questions. And we do have a limited number of community tickets available as well. So you can also reach out to inquire about those. But yeah, it's the last weekend to get your tickets, and we are very close to being at capacity. So we
Yes.
hope to see you there.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Sara. Um, how can we stay in touch with you? How can we support you? Just anything else you'd like to share about, yeah, about that, how we can continue to support FTF and also you.
Yeah, so FTF social channels are at STL Change. You can find us on LinkedIn, on with Forward Through Ferguson. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn, Sara Paracha. Um, Both the summit information should be on FTF's website and on the Racial Equity STL website.
Okay. And also, one more thing before we roll off, because I'm the woo woo friend and I am a Pisces and all my dominant signs are water signs, I always like to leave off my tidbits with my buddies like, what's a dream that you have? So, what's something that you're looking forward to either for the summer or for the rest of the year? And like, it's like a personal reflection that
Mhm.
it's just something that you're dreaming of. So, what's something that you're dreaming of?
I have a lot of reunions coming up this year, family and friends that are long distance. So I'm just really looking forward to being together again with people that I've known for a while and haven't been able to see in person for some time, and just really being together in person.
Nice. Well, I hope that your in person gatherings are nourishing and, of course, safe and enjoyable and not too hot if it's outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have a wonderful time. And just congratulations again. We've worked together closely the last 2 years, and my roles are slightly shifting
Mm-hmm.
at FTF, which I'm personally excited about, and I just feel wonderful that the organization is where it is right now, so that I can continue to be excited about shifting roles and supporting you all's leadership. So
Yeah.
that's really wonderful. Congrats on the summit and just everything, and that I'm really excited for you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Excited to see it all come together.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Well, do you have any last thoughts?
I think we covered it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sara. So, just for our listeners, if you're still there, next Friday at 1 o'clock Central, we'll be talking about Gladiators Community Centric Fundraising Peer Cohort. And until next time, we'll see you all later.